Hello loves and welcome to my YouTube channel, the place where we talk about this world in a spiritual manner and about the insights I get from Source on how we can expand into our greatest potential. My name is Maier and my purpose in this beautiful world is expanding consciousness. So the topic of today's video is special for me. It's a bit different because today we are going to talk about my ayahuasca experience. I wanted to talk about this for a while now. People that follow me for a while, they know I experienced this in August 2023, so it's been a while. But until now, I just felt, I felt it was not the time. I was not ready to talk about it. I just needed to experience it and see exactly what it is for me and what it meant for me, and only after that to just come and share my opinion, what I experienced. So now I feel like I'm ready for it, and how this video is gonna flow is I'm gonna take all the 4 ceremonies I did in Peru, because I was in Peru to have my ayahuasca experience. I'm just gonna take each one of them and tell you how each one of them was for me and what I learned, what I experienced. I feel like there's going to be a lot to talk about, so I don't know yet if this is going to be only one video or we are just going to do part 1 and part 2, but we'll see that at the end of this video. So before diving deep into the actual ayahuasca experience, for me, I just want to answer a few questions. And first is, what is ayahuasca? For people that don't know anything about it or maybe just heard a bit but you're not sure, ayahuasca is a plant-based psychedelic, the most powerful natural psychedelic in the world, that it's used in ceremonies alongside shamans. And the effects of ayahuasca are hallucinations and altering all senses. So this is like a general definition. Now I want to tell you the story on how I decided to go have my ayahuasca experience, because this is also a cute story. So a while back, I think it was July 2023, I was at Seaside with some friends and also some people that I met there. And in this one specific night, I had a dream. Like, I could not see anything specific in the dream, but I just remember my voice asking myself, am I ready for my next spiritual step? Am I ready for ayahuasca? So I had this dream. At that point, I didn't know much of ayahuasca. I had someone telling me that they experienced ayahuasca before, but I was not sure what exactly it is. I knew it was a ceremony. So at that point, I really actually didn't know anything about it, let's say it like this. But I had this dream and I forget about it, right? So 2 days passes and I'm having this brunch with my friends at the seaside, and suddenly on my left I hear someone talk about something, and I just hear the word ayahuasca. So they were talking about ayahuasca, and in that moment where I heard them, like my dream flashed before my eyes, and I remembered I was asking myself in the dream 2 days prior, am I ready for my next spiritual step? Ayahuasca. So, I got in the conversation. I started asking them questions because they were talking about their ayahuasca experience. I started asking questions about what is ayahuasca, what it meant for you, how does it work exactly, and they just started answering all my questions, and I told them, like, look, I had this dream 2 days prior. And then I found out, they told me, like, there is this thing, like, it is said that you don't go experience ayahuasca when you want to, but you experience it when ayahuasca calls you. Because ayahuasca calls you when you're ready. And they were like, Laura, I think you might be ready for it. And fun fact, in a month from now, there is this ayahuasca retreat in Peru. And I was like, oh my God, I think I'm ready for it. I was interested, I was open to it. And I was like, I think I want to experience it. My friend that is a practitioner of Theta healing method, and also myself included, a practitioner of it, told me, like, Laura, first go into Theta state and try to connect with ayahuasca and see if you're actually ready, what ayahuasca has to tell you, what to expect. So I did that. I went into Theta state and I asked God to help me connect with the plant. I was in the meditative state, and suddenly I start seeing things, and I just see this plant, ayahuasca, grabbing me, somewhere deep down inside myself, there was like this dark land. It was night, it was darkness, and in the middle of it I could see a castle. And I was the queen of that castle, and I was the queen of that dark land. But the thing is, I felt a lot of fear in my meditation. So ayahuasca was showing me this realm, and it was mine. I just knew that I'm the queen of this land, but I'm scared of it. It is dark. I don't know what it is. I was just like trapped in the castle, and I did not want to go out. So ayahuasca was like, look, Laura, you have this dark land, and if you come have this experience with ayahuasca, we are just gonna go and explore the dark land so you can actually take full ownership and control over it and just not hide it or deny it anymore. So I had this beautiful encounter with ayahuasca spirit in my theta state. So I was like, yes, I'm ready for the actual experience, and I'm gonna go in Peru next month. So I contacted the team that were organizing this ayahuasca retreat. I completed a lot of forms about myself. I answered some questions about my health, so everything could be safe. Now let's fly into the middle of Jungle of Peru and meet ayahuasca. First day, first ayahuasca ceremony. So we were in the middle of the jungle of Peru, and the ceremonies were taking place in a maloca, a beautiful maloca in the middle of the jungle that had no walls, but the only thing that were separating us from the nature was that this maloca was not completely on the ground, it was higher up. And like I said, there were no walls, but the only thing were these thin things, I don't know how they are called in English, that don't let the bees and the flies come in. So the ceremony was taking place in this maloca. The shaman was standing in front of us, and also he had some helpers around him. They were all standing in front of us. There was this big altar there next to him with a lot of crystals, and we were having mats on the floor. Each person would have a mat and also a pillow, a bucket if you throw up. The ceremony starts, and we just create a line that goes to the shaman so we could take ayahuasca. I realized that I didn't tell you like what ayahuasca looks like, what it is exactly. So ayahuasca is a brew, like a brown red in color brew made of two plants. Of course, there can be multiple plants depending on the tradition or where you go to, but the main thing is the ayahuasca vein. So it is like this tree that surrounds another tree. It actually looks like a vein that is ayahuasca, and also this is combined, the extract of it is combined with some other leaves from another plant that I don't know the name of it. So this is like a brew, a mix of these two that create the ayahuasca that we drink in a ceremony. So my turn comes in, I'm in front of the shaman, we shake hands, he asks me how I'm doing, and I don't know what he does, but he decides on how much ayahuasca I'm drinking that night. So he gives me like a cup with like this ayahuasca, I drink it, and I can tell like what an awful taste and smell it has. It's not an easy to drink liquid, let's say, like this, but I drink ayahuasca, and I go to my mat because I chose a mat on the ground, and I just sit there to wait for the ceremony to start. Everyone drinks their ayahuasca, everyone sits on the mat or on the chairs, and the shaman starts the ceremony by singing. So this entire ceremonies, you have the shaman singing to you, or like whistling. They call these icaros. The icaros are like whistling songs. They sound something like. So there's a lot of whistling in the ceremony, and suddenly I'm laid down on the mat, and I just start feeling things inside my body. Something's moving, something's shaking. I start seeing things. This is how ayahuasca works. It makes you see things. Like I could feel like something was opening up, but it wasn't like an easy sensation, because I could feel illness, let's say, inside my body. Like I'm about to throw up. So in time, all these hallucinations start just expanding and expanding, and the images I was seeing, they were more clear and clear. And it's not the easiest thing to experience, because for me, how they went, they were like really crazy. I was just seeing colors and patterns and stories and things that I could not control, and it was just tiring. Everything was just moving so fast here that I start feeling like I'm losing control over my body, like I could not feel my body anymore. And this is what the shaman was calling the onset. So he was saying that this period of you getting used to ayahuasca and ayahuasca entering your body is the onset, and you have all these sensations of, losing control over your body, maybe feeling sick, like you want to throw up. So this is just like the adjustment of ayahuasca in your body. And I was having all of this. It was bad. He was singing some things, and it was just making my visions go crazy. I could actually, like, at one point, I just lost sense of time, space, and also like what it means to stand up, to lay down. I could just not feel like, I don't know how to say it, but all my senses just started to be messed up with. Like everything I know is just, I don't know them. I don't know it anymore. I can't use it anymore. I don't know if it was after an hour or 2 hours or 3. I had no space and time recognition in that moment. But I felt so sick, and the sickness just grew that at one point I just had to throw up, and I did. And it's normal in the ayahuasca ceremonies to throw up. A lot of people do that. And why is that? Is because ayahuasca also clears your body. So I did not know what ayahuasca was working on me, what's happening here, but ayahuasca just, it helped me eliminate something from my body, and it was okay. So I throw up, and I start feeling a bit better. Of course, you close your eyes again, and I just go somewhere. Like I said, I could not feel my body anymore. Whenever I was closing my eyes, it was just like this feeling of flying away from your body. I was aware of it, but it was somewhere. I was not in the body. Because this is what ayahuasca does. It helps you leave your body for a couple of hours and experience the entire universe. So yeah, after throwing up, I just went somewhere. But again, the shaman was singing his Icaros, and I was seeing stuff that I could not understand what they are. I was like, I want to work with ayahuasca. Why I can't work with ayahuasca? What is this? What do I see? So I was trying to control it. But the thing with ayahuasca is that you can't control it. But I was trying. I don't know. I did not know what I was doing, and I don't know what I was seeing. I can't tell you what I was seeing. There was just things. What I realized is that depending on what the shaman was singing, my visions were changing. So the shaman was using some different vibrations in his Icaros, and those vibrations, that's how it works, it helps you reach some parts in you. So let's say he's focusing on some lower vibrational Icaros, those take you in a lower vibrational experience. How can I tell this? But if his song sounded a bit dark, that would take me in a dark place in my visions. So that was taking me in my dark places, and maybe removing that, because that's what the shaman does. He's working on you to remove things from you that you don't know. So that was the dark side of the ceremony. I would have these dark visions, but then he would change his Icaros in a higher vibrational pitch, and also the visions would change. So that's what I realized in this ceremony. But as long as the shaman was there, I feel like I cannot work consciously with ayahuasca. I could not ask any questions, and ayahuasca, I feel like ayahuasca is not talking with me. I have no control or no capability yet to talk with ayahuasca. So 5 or 6 hours, I believe, pass by, and suddenly the shaman tells us the ceremony will end. He's going to help us land by singing his Icaros for that. And after he closes the ceremony, if you want, you can still stay in the Maloca and work with ayahuasca, because now we did the hard part of the work, and now you have access to ayahuasca still for a couple of hours, so you can connect with it and talk with it. So the shaman closed the ceremony, and he left the Maloca. You're not being left alone. His helpers were there in the Maloca the entire night, but he left the Maloca, and suddenly everything just went quiet. Like all my visions, my crazy visions that I could not control, they were gone. And now suddenly I feel like I can talk with ayahuasca. It was just quiet, and it was a different quiet. You're in the middle of the jungle, and you would hear, and you could hear all these noises that you don't know what animal makes them, but it was just quiet, like a deep quiet, if that makes sense. So in that moment, something shifted, and I felt like now I could actually talk with ayahuasca and ask her questions, and ayahuasca just started answering. So my first question to ayahuasca was, what is my purpose in this world? And at that point, I didn't know exactly how it works, but what I remember is that I saw a street from Hunedoara. Ayahuasca was taking me on a street, and I was like, I don't want to go there. Like, what does that has to do with my purpose? But I just decided to go with the flow and see what ayahuasca shows me. And ayahuasca, in my visions, got me to this specific street where my dad's aunt lived. And she started showing me my aunt's life and her purpose in our family. My dad's aunt, Ditsa is her name, so I'm going to call her Ditsa. What she did was that she took her entire family with 7 siblings from a poor village, and she brought the family to Hunedoara, to the city. So she was a road opener for the family, because now the entire family is based in Hunedoara, and they had like better conditions there than in the village. So ayahuasca started showing me her journey and what her purpose was in this life for our family. And after showing this to me, she started like making a parallel between her and me. So my dad's aunt is slowly leaving our 3D reality, but ayahuasca showed me her life and her purpose, and she started making this parallel, and she showed me that, look, her purpose is now coming to you. When she decides to leave, and she's gonna leave, her purpose of opening roads will come to you. I still felt like it's not enough and I need more information. So at that point, when I asked for more information about this parallel and what my purpose is, ayahuasca also brought in my dad. And she started showing me the lineage, I think that's how it's called, from my dad's aunt, my dad and me. And she just showed me, look, your dad's aunt, Ditsa, brought the entire family from the village to town, so she was a road opener. Then your dad deconstructed all the mental limiting beliefs about money and expansion, and he opened a hotel. No one believed my family has a hotel. No one believed in my dad that he could do this. And my dad did not come from a rich family, but somehow he managed to build a hotel from scratch, and what he did was expand our possibilities. No one believed that he could do it and he could reach abundance, but he did that. So ayahuasca showed me, look, your dad is also a road opener, and he was a road opener for your family. And now it's your turn, Laura. You're going to be the next road opener for your family, so you can expand into even much greatness, much love, abundance, and everything this beautiful world has to offer us. After this ended, suddenly I just feel like ayahuasca is taking me to another place. I just told her, okay, let's go somewhere else. I don't know what I want to work on, so you decide where you want to take me. And suddenly I just find myself in some woods, some dark woods. And at first I could not recognize what that is. It was just darkness, and I was like, okay, where are you taking me? What is this? And suddenly I just know. Ayahuasca just somehow tells me, she makes me know. I was on that dark land that ayahuasca showed me when I visited her in Theta state. Remember about the castle, me being the queen of the castle in this dark land that I did not experience it yet and I was afraid of it? Well, now in the ayahuasca ceremony, ayahuasca took me in that land, and she was like, well, I told you we are going to work on this, now we are going to work on this. And I was like, oh my God, I was not scared about that dark land anymore, about what beasts I might find, because it's my dark land, it's the dark side of me, the darkness inside of me that I was scared of. Suddenly I was not scared of it, and I was just fully in letting go mode and in trust mode. Ayahuasca, I trust you, just take me wherever and heal what we need to heal. So she took me into this land, and suddenly it was like this gathering of all my dark pieces. It was a feeling of like coming back home and acknowledging my dark places and parts of me, and just giving love to these parts and accepting them and bringing them into the light, bringing them into awareness. Okay, I'm aware of you, but I love you. I don't run from this dark part of myself anymore. So it was like this beautiful ceremony where I was just face to face with all my beasts inside me, and I was showing them love and bring them into light, because bringing things into light actually heals them. It was magical. I remember at some point I was having tears falling down my eyes. It was like this huge and deep love I was feeling for the dark parts of myself that I always ran away from, because I don't want to face them. I just want to look on the good side and not focus on the bad side. No, in that moment I was face to face with the darkest parts of me, and I was just in so much love for them. And at the end of the ceremony, I want to tell you that this dark land started to not be that dark anymore. Like my visions were not pitch black. There was some sun there. So for me, that meant that I started the process of acknowledging my dark side and accepting it, because of course it's still a process. It's not that I've done it completely and I don't have to do any more shadow work and find things out. I'm still going to find things out, but the process started and it's a bit more light in there for me. So this was my first experience with ayahuasca in the middle of the jungle of Peru, and I think we are going to end the video here because we don't have time for the rest of the ceremonies in this video, because it's quite long, this video already, but I think it's great. This first ceremony came with a lot of unsureness. I was still new to it, so I did not know what to expect, so everything was a bit blurry. But in the next ceremonies, you will see that things get more clear, the visions get more straight to the point, a lot of insights. I got a lot of insights, so I think it's great we end this first video in a new to this feeling, and we're gonna get even deeper into the subject in the next video where things just clear out. So thank you so much for watching the first part of my ayahuasca experience, and I'll see you next week with the second part, where we're going to talk about the second, the third, and the fourth ceremony. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and also leave a comment down below and I'll reach out to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, I love you. Bye.